September 1st, 2023, while in the legal court, Kevin Costner said, "I can't help Yellowstone anymore. They walked away. I would probably go to court with that." Listen, Costner really does love his character, John Dutton, in Yellowstone. But without his knowledge, Paramount Plus chopped Season 5 into 2 parts. This messes up the shooting schedule with his movie called Horizon. And now, everything's clear that Costner will leave the show, and it will end in Season 5, Part 2. And after hearing this devastating news, one question begins to infect every fan on the internet. Can we at least have a John Dutton spinoff? Yet, this question literally created chaos and divided fans. Now, we promise that if you watch this video until the end, you will know if we will have the John Dutton spinoff or not. Also, we're going to talk about why there is a branding in Yellowstone, who is the first one to be branded, and the hidden meaning behind it. So stick around and keep watching. Yellowstone fans are seriously divided after a major question comes up about the show. Is there a John Dutton spinoff? Yellowstone can catch the MCU's multiverse in terms of spinoffs, and how Taylor Sheridan connects each one is pure genius. But with so many spinoffs, is there a possibility that we can delve deeper into the lives of the Dutton family, especially John? Fans are screaming with theories. You see, there's an ongoing Reddit thread that is hoping to reveal more about our main man's history. A spinoff where we will understand John Dutton's past and how he became the man he is today. Let's set the stage first. Someone threw out a spicy question on Reddit that has everyone's ears perked up. Do you think a young John Dutton prequel would be a good idea? Imagine a younger, dashing version of John Dutton portrayed by the charismatic Josh Lucas. Given his history of playing a youthful John in the series, it's no surprise fans are weighing in with enthusiasm. One fan states, "Josh Lucas is a good actor, so wouldn't be a bad idea." And let's be honest, who can resist more of Josh Lucas? It's clear from the course of agreements and nodding heads that fans are eager for it. Yes, because more Josh Lucas is never a bad thing. Followed by, yes, with Josh Lucas. And this one is my favorite. They need to make a 90s version. That fellow who plays young JD can absolutely carry a show, with a fraction of the salary and drama. But, as with all good debates, not everyone is on the same page. One dissenting voice reflected, "A few years ago, I would have loved this idea, but I just want them to stop now." And one fan replied, "I'm starting to get there too." The other one said, "The show is built around him. I'm sorry, but no one else in the cast can carry the show. It's just time for it to end. The stories have got pretty lackluster anyway, and it's probably why he wants out." After that, one fan screams, "Hell no, OP. No more prequels or sequels, please. Yellowstone should have been done properly. It was great when it started, but turned into a soap opera rather quickly. Here's hoping we'll get an ending that'll make at least some sense." But here's the silver lining. Taylor Sheridan not only has plans to expand the Yellowstone world beyond what we know, with shows like 1883 and 1923. In 2024, he will stretch it to the fullest with 1923 Season 2, Lawman Bass Reeves, the much-anticipated Yellowstone 4 Sixes, 1944, and 1960. You probably knew the first 3 spinoffs I've mentioned, but how about 1944 and 1960? Is there a possibility that one of these new spinoffs will tackle the life of John Dutton? Well, let's examine these two. 1944. This spinoff will show us the Duttons when they are facing their biggest challenges, the World War II. And if we will assume this 1944 is John Dutton's spinoff, it is impossible because of John's age. And also, the rumor said that the one who's leading this show is Kurt Russell's New Frontier. So yeah, it could be the 1960. This show will dive deep into John Dutton's parents' lives. Yep, this is it. This is about the essential era that shaped our very own John Dutton. His younger and wilder days will soon have a front row seat to it all. Those childhood secrets, those hidden tales that have been whispered throughout the Dutton corridors, they're all set to spill, and no stone will be left unturned. But here's a million-dollar question. How did the story of the present days of Yellowstone connect to the story of 1960 now that Kevin Costner wants to leave Yellowstone? Well, here's our accurate theory about it. Yellowstone to 1960. John Dutton's theory. In the second part of Season 5, the fate of John Dutton is still shrouded by mystery, right? We don't have any clue how Taylor Sheridan will conclude the show. But here's the thing. If you didn't know, the original plan for Yellowstone was a 10-hour movie. The show isn't supposed to be this long. That's why, almost every season, we saw our beloved John Dutton facing death eye to eye. And these could foreshadow his demise. And listen carefully about what we're going to tell you next. Once John Dutton gives out his final breath, there's a backlash of his life from his childhood up to the present Yellowstone while he is dying. And this flashback could be the 1960s. While Kimmy, Beth, and Rip will go to the 4 Sixes Ranch to introduce the Yellowstone 4 Sixes. This makes a lot more sense because it can expand the Yellowstone verse further. And yeah, we know, some of you will raise a flag about this idea, but I'm open to that. So leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and we will surely lasso it down for you. And if you are curious about what it means to bear that iconic Y brand, keep watching because you won't believe this. What being branded really means in Yellowstone. Since its inception, Yellowstone is rich with a tapestry of drama that can stand toe-to-toe with big names like The Sopranos and Breaking Bad. And part of that drama is the ritualistic branding for cows and those who truly belong to the ranch. Remember Jimmy Herdstrom from Season 1? When Rip Wheeler marked him with the Y brand, it seemed like a punishment, didn't it? But that Y brand is like armor, making Jimmy virtually invincible on the ranch. It's a badge of respect. But from Season 1 right up to Season 5, this brand comes with expectations, loyalty, responsibility, and total dedication to the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. Why does Yellowstone brand their employees? Kevin Costner's John Dutton holds the reins of control, especially over the workers, who have rugged pasts as ex-convicts. These folks can't easily find jobs elsewhere. And so, when they get branded, it's not just about employment. It's a commitment, a bond, and it means that they're now part of the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch family. And you know what families do? They protect their own. Think about it. In the old days, and even now, ranch owners brand cattle. It's a mark of ownership, ensuring that if the cattle wander, they can be traced back home. Similarly, when Yellowstone Dutton Ranch brands its workers, it's marking them as part of the ranch, offering them duties and the privilege of belonging. Take, for example, that intense moment when ranch hand Walker faced a troublesome night. It looked like his end was near, but instead of being discarded, he was brought back to the ranch for a second shot at redemption. Just like the Sicilian Mafia or even the elite forces in Dune, this process isn't easy. It's painful, both physically and mentally, but it crafts a fierce loyalty towards John Dutton. Regardless of whether you're a worker or a Dutton by blood, that Yellowstone brand is a badge of ownership, belonging, and unbreakable ties. The first person to get the Yellowstone brand. Will 1923 show it? Jacob was played by the legendary Harrison Ford and Cara Dutton, the ever-talented Helen Mirren. Together, they mastered the Wild West and built their ranch in 1923 on unexpectedly difficult ground. And amid the storms and struggles, the art of branding arose. Now, Season 1 of 1923 gave us a front-row seat to the Dutton story, but left us hanging about who got that very first brand and for what reason. Who was it? Why did they receive it? Well, Season 2 is just around the corner, right? It has more layers to peel back and secrets to uncover. But even if 1923 doesn't reveal it, the origin of that powerful brand might just pop up elsewhere. So, on what spinoff do you think will reveal the first person to get branded? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Is there a branding ritual on real-life cowboys? While some parts of Yellowstone might have roots, in reality, the branding is not so much. Sure, throughout history, there were moments when people got branded, but it was mostly a terrible fate reserved for criminals and the enslaved. Your everyday cowboy? Nah, they weren't lining up for a hot iron mark. Now, the show does add a pinch of, let's call it creative freedom. Those brands we see on the show are designed for the tough cattle hides. Imagine that on human skin. It wouldn't just sting for a second. It could have some serious harm, and you'd need more than a swig of whiskey to get over that. And speaking of harm, you won't believe how painful it is for the diehard fandom of Yellowstone that the show will conclude in Season 5. So if you want to know every detail about the future of Yellowstone, you must watch this video, and see you on the Yellowstone Ranch, cowboy.